Hello and welcome back to the Funfiltered podcast. I am Sam, and I am joined as interminably ever by Jordan.
Hello.
And here's what's coming up.
We revisit Mufasa.
We go deep on Velma Dinkley, talk about the recent developments with Velma Dinkley and all the Velma Dinkley stuff, a lot of Velma stuff, and miscellaneous Mystery Machine madness shit.
Sam grumbles for a bit about the current state of television,
which trails neatly into a double feature Lexicorner. Sam's Lexicorner.
I talk a little bit about the film Mad God.
And I talk a little bit about the film Vengeance.
And we both talk a little bit longer
about the Midnight Club. Jord.
Yeah?
On the last episode, we talked about James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And tangentially Mufasa.
Oh, yeah.
He's not voicing Mufasa in the upcoming
he's
prequel.
Not?
He's not doing it.
Oh, right, okay.
So, Barry Jenkins is directing this new Mufasa film.
I've heard of that person.
Moonlight.
And yes, that's what
Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk. So obviously Mufasa's the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's set in Africa.
Yeah.
It's all about the natives in Africa.
I know, but I was thinking that with Ryan Coogler. Like, you start with Fruitvale Station, a very socially conscious, it's about the shooting of a black man by the police.
Yeah.
Then you do Creed, which is like, it's got some race stuff, but not really. Then Black Panther. But he's young, right? Coogler? Relatively speaking. Like, he's in his 30s, right? He's not, like, in his 40s or 50s.
Okay, all right.
Whereas Barry Jenkins, I think, is a bit older. It feels weird that you would do Moonlight. I think you did stuff before that. But you do Moonlight, then you do Beale Street, and then you do your mini-series about slavery.
Yeah.
And now you do Mufasa. I don't know, it's kind of a weird trajectory.
That's just what Hollywood had for him. He's gone on the same trajectory as a lot of people seem to go on, which is you do your big debut.
Yeah.
Maybe you do something after that.
Yeah.
Then you do the big blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like, what did...
It's Captain Marvel thing, isn't it?
Yeah, Captain Marvel, Kong Skull Island. Like, most of the directors that seem to get scooped up now... They've all done a small indie and like a known indie, and then
it's always interesting to see what film they end up doing. Either like, this is what the studio thought was suitable for them, or what they wanted to do. I mean, obviously it's both at the end of the day. But like Gareth Edwards did Monsters.
Yes.
Okay, so he's obviously into sci-fi and stuff. Godzilla seems like, fair enough. Robert Eggers with Nosferatu.
Yeah,
that seems right. But like Jordan was evoked or whatever, evoked Robert.
Yeah, what was his thing?
I think The Kings of Summer, I think, was his thing, which is a coming-of-age teen movie.
Right.
About nostalgia and like, boys being boys in the summer, the dog days. And then he did Kong Skull Island. It is a weird...
Well, that was all Vietnam-y, wasn't it? So maybe there was some like vague bullshit connection between like nostalgia and boys being boys and the Vietnam War.
Well, it's more like Kings of Summer, a lot of it is set in a forest. So therefore a jungle.
Yeah, jungle, yeah.
Is that what it...
And also
could
like
it be that
nostalgia for like, when you're young and you're a teenager, that's like a positive nostalgia. But Vietnam War, that's like a negative nostalgia. So it's like the inverse of the thing that he...
Yeah, it's like going from you had to be there to you weren't there, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That pendulum. Okay, well, so it's a prequel about Mufasa during his formative years, but it's also a sequel centering on both his origins and the events after the first film.
This is Mufasa.
Yeah.
After the Lion King.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's him after the Lion King.
I was going to say he is the one that dies.
This is what it's been compared to in the Deadline Hollywood article.
Okay.
The Godfather 2. Which is... Have you seen part 2?
Of The Godfather?
Yeah.
Not yet, no.
No, okay. So, obviously, Vito... Can you spoil The Godfather? Vito dies...
I'm sure you're about to.
Yeah. Vito dies in The Godfather.
Okay.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And then, in the sequel, it follows Michael's, further ascendancy.
Yeah.
While flashing back to Robert De Niro as a young Vito coming to America from Sicily.
Okay.
And, the roots of the mafia.
Okay.
The Italian-American experience. So that's what they've compared it to. So we'll get a young Mufasa, and then I guess Simba as an adult, like probably having some experience that parallels Mufasa's formative.
Right.
Some shit like, I don't know, like Stand By Me or something, but where the dad's not dead.
And this was totally necessary.
No, Stand By Me, you know what I'm saying. So it'll be.
No, I know the film was that. I'm not saying the film was totally necessary.
Mufasa is Stand By Me, but the dad is dead. Carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and this was totally necessary. This was worth doing.
What now?
This Mufasa series where.
Oh yeah.
We followed Mufasa in the past, but also Simba presumably in the present.
Yeah. What can you do with this? I mean, it's just going to be...
I know there is a Lion King 2, and isn't there like a Lion King 1.5 or something?
It's something like that. Well, okay, so...
I was going to say, the Lion King, it's a parable. I know that it's often compared to like Hamlet. It's like, it's Hamlet, but with lions.
Well, that is what it is.
Yeah, you've got like the treacherous uncle, blah, 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 blah. It's literally the only thing I know about Hamlet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I apologise to all the culture.
There's literally... Isn't there a character in The Lion King, a Iago? Iago, right? That's a...
Maybe.
Or if there's not... Oh, I don't know if they're actually called that. But yeah, there are facsimiles of... It is Hamlet.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting detour.
Okay.
Well, it's a semi-interesting detour.
Okay.
The Lion King, I think, awards-wise, not that it got nominated in this category, but I think maybe a couple, it qualified as the best original screenplay. Where do you draw the line?
Oh, you mean the remake?
No, I mean the 1994 Lion King. Best original screenplay.
Was it not the original score then?
No, screenplay.
Oh, screenplay. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said score for some reason.
No, I mean, they're very similar words, so I can understand your confusion. Best original screenplay. No, did I say score? Are you gaslighting me?
Yeah, it'll be interesting going back and editing and seeing which one of us is the more like crazy person.
I mean, you've thrown me for a loop now. I don't know what I said.
Okay, I apologise.
Best original score. Would I have said that?
I apologise if I'm the one who fucked it up. But so you're saying that like. Do we know if it's directly adapted from Hamlet? Is it? Well,
I don't. I mean,
does it in any way like suggest like, oh, this is based on?
Well, it is Hamlet. I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah, but have they acknowledged that it's based on Hamlet?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like West Side Story's Romeo and Juliet sort of thing. But I don't know where you draw the line because it's not an adaptation of Hamlet.
Yeah,
it's not. It really is its own story. But it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
Like you need do nothing to it. Like other than with Hamlet, like they're lions now.
Yeah.
And that kind of is the Lion King. It is a tricky one. I don't know where you would draw the line.
Does Hamlet fall into this? I don't know if we did a Sam's Lexicorner for this, but it's definitely something I've brought up on the podcast before. You've got certain films where their plots have just become template plots for other films almost. Like It's a Wonderful Life,
Groundhog
Day. Like a lot of high concept sitcoms will do those episodes.
Yes.
Is Hamlet one of those? Where it's a story so, like...
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it. But it's a story that you can just transplant onto something else.
Oh, yeah.
In the same way they've done with Groundhog Day.
Well, I mean, even Hamlet's probably... Because like, a lot... I don't know about Hamlet particularly, but a lot of Shakespeare's plays themselves weren't fully original. He was adapting, like, Italian...
Right.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't... Like I say, I don't know the specifics about Hamlet. But that thing of, even if it's not uncle, father, son, it's like Gladiator, you could say that about. Like, come back to Gladiator as well. Joaquin Phoenix is the Emperor's son, his actual son.
Yeah.
But he's weak and he's kind of shallow and he's power hungry. Whereas Maximus is not the Emperor's son, but he's the one that he wants to be his son.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix kills the Emperor and then Maximus, also his family, but he avenges that. The Lighthouse is that kind of... Not the Lighthouse, The Northman is that kind of story, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, like Revenge Tales, they're as old as time, aren't they?
But we still call those Revenge Tales. We don't call them Gladiators. It is still like... Even though Gladiator is the go-to example... For that type of story.
Yeah.
We don't think of them as Gladiator clones.
Well, because it predates Gladiator. This is what I'm saying. Like Gladiator is like a Hamlet.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you remove the strict familial aspect, that thing of powerful people, like palace intrigue, scumbag kills the king, and then the heir to the throne or the ostensible heir to the throne is outcast and has to come back and seize it and kill the bad guy. You know, that's everywhere. That probably predates, like I said, that probably predates Hamlet.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? All I'm saying is, like, forget the story template. I said the fact that it is Hamlet with lions and songs does that count as... I mean, it is an adaptation, but it's not a strict adaptation.
Well, yeah.
I think it calls really into question the whole idea of an original and adapted screenplay, because they are arbitrary anyway. I mean, only because, like, you point to a thing that exists and go, right, that book, I'm basing it on that book.
Yeah.
But then things, as we've said, I'm sure we've talked about it on the podcast before, things like The King's Speech and Spotlight are original screenplays because they're not based on any text or any...
Yeah, even though they're recounting things that happened.
Yeah. And in the case of Spotlight, in a very comprehensive... It's like an article.
Spotlight in particular is weirdly like... Because surely you could say, oh, that's based on those articles.
No...
Because all of the information that is in Spotlight was like recorded in text.
Yeah.
And that text would have been their primary reference point when doing the film, I imagine.
I don't think so. No, because it's...
Like interviewing people.
It's about the experience of the people who are writing it.
Yeah. But it's also like what
the
they
information
found.
that's... Yes, that would you get.
And what they
but that's
found
like,
is a
But that's
text.
like a quarter of the story, right? Like,
I suppose.
How they went about getting it is the story of that film.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think that kind of, and what counts as what counts as adapted that like really isn't. I guess the TV show Fargo. That's an adaptation. That if that was a film, it would be in the adapted category. Toy Story 2 would be any sequel is an adaptation because it's based on the first film.
It's not though?
No, but that's how it works.
Okay.
If you're a sequel, or you use any character that's appeared in anything, you're an adapted screenplay.
Right.
Logan would be an adapted screenplay.
Okay.
Even though, like, ignoring the comic book thing.
But that's the
just
thing.
The fact
that is based on source material.
Yeah, but ignoring that, if that was just, it's a Wolverine movie, and we are doing our own thing with it, it would be an adapted screenplay because the character of Wolverine is a pre-existing thing.
I don't know.
It's arbitrary. I just get rid of it. It's the one place where the Golden Globes are on the money. They just do best screenplay.
Okay.
And I think that's the way to go. Anyway.
Right.
Aaron Pierre and Kelvin Harrison Jr. have been cast as Mufasa and Scar, respectively. I don't know who Aaron Pierre is.
Okay.
I think Kelvin Harrison Jr. maybe is in Moonlight.
Right.
He's one of these young black actors. Though I did read one article because I googled, like, is James Earl Jones voicing Mufasa? And there was a couple of articles, I guess they just kind of, the one copied the erroneous other, that reported that Jeremy Irons was voicing Mufasa.
Right, okay.
I was like, surely not.
Yeah.
Surely not. And yeah, that's not the case.
If they didn't bring him back for Lion King, the show is hell not going to replace Mufasa.
Yeah. The film will not be a remake of The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride.
Okay.
Which is the 98 direct-to-video sequel.
Yeah.
And the original animated film. Yeah, it's going to be called Mufasa the Lion King.
Right,
so,
okay.
Brilliant. But yeah, I thought that bore mentioning.
No, that's fine. I mean, that was pure speculation on my part. It just made sense. And I guess that's how bad journalism happens. You just put things together in your head. But we've never claimed to be journalists, thankfully.
Yeah.
We are just like people with opinions. But yeah, okay. Well, at least you cleared that up.
Yeah.
At least for now, Mufasa is safe.
Mufasa is safe.
They're still building a database of James Earl Jones's voice. There's no reason they won't use it in the future.
I say that, right? Because it's a young Mufasa.
Yeah.
So they can get away with casting this Aaron Pierre, whoever that is.
Yeah.
You're going to hear James Earl Jones's voice in the film. You're going to.
I don't know.
You're going to get a Godfather 2 style, although not strictly. So originally in Godfather 2, right, the idea was for the final scene of The Godfather 2 is you seriously need to watch The Godfather 2.
Okay, all right.
I can't believe I'm having to explain The Godfather 2 to you when we do a film review show. Just saying, George.
Yeah, no, I saw The Godfather earlier
but not
this year.
2. The original ending of part 2 was, by this point, the family's just been destroyed. Either they're all dead or, like, just, the relationships are destroyed. And then it flashes back to a birthday party that they're holding for Vito.
Yeah.
And they're all waiting for him. And then he arrives off screen. And they all leave one by one to greet him, and you just kind of linger on the empty room, which is a perfect ending to that film. But originally, they wanted to get Marlon Brando back for like a quick cameo at the end. And you'd see the family as a unit before they were, before it disintegrated. They're going to do something like that. You're going to get a scene where he's Mufasa from The Lion King before his death with some foreshadowing. You're going to see Scar eyeing him in the background. You're going to get that.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to do Mufasa without James Earl Jones's voice in there somewhere.
I don't know if they've opened. If I'm assuming we're in the early stages of marketing for this show. This is like the first round of.
It was at the Disney Expo.
Yeah.
So yeah, the very first.
If one of the first things we know about the show is that James Earl Jones, film.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. It's weird now that they've announced it. Isn't it Armored Wars?
The Marvel thing.
Yeah, that's the War Machine show.
Yeah,
it's called
that's
Armored
right.
Wars or something. That was a show for the longest time, and now it's a film.
Oh, it's a film. Is it? Aren't they doing like a Halloween thing as well?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, like a short maybe,
Yeah.
or yeah. I don't
I only bring up Armored Wars because it crossed my attention field. I don't want to keep up with Marvel.
No. I've seen the title. I didn't even know it was the War Machine thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was a show, and now it's a film, and that feels like a weird way. Like, surely they would do it the other way around. It's like it's a film, but now it's a show to give it more attention.
Yeah.
What does the fact that it's now a film say about how that production's
Not
going?
enough material.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was Mufasa.
Okay.
Also, kind of a callback to the last episode.
Okay.
Velma.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fuck. Okay.
So you alerted me to this.
This was actually because of the last episode. There's a moment on the last episode.
I imagined it was.
Yeah, there was a moment on the last episode where we're speculating as to what Velma's last name would be.
It's Dinkley, isn't it?
It's Dinkley.
That's why the Jinkies. Yeah.
I mocked you for Jinkies,
Yeah.
and it turns out you were nearly on the money.
Yeah.
So I typed in Velma on Google so that I could find out what the last name was, and I pressed enter, and LGBTQ flags.
Yeah. Rained
from the top of Google like confetti. I didn't.
Also,
know.
a variety of LGBT.
Yeah,
flags,
you had like the race one that's got like the race triangle
yeah.
or the POC triangle, whatever the fuck it's called. And then you had one of
Pork rhombus.
the pork rhombus. And then you had like, I'm assuming the lesbian one.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know they have specific flags for each like denomination, but I don't know what those ones
Again,
are.
I feel like we've done this before, where we've broken down the LGBTQ blah 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 thing, and like infinitely dissecting it apart. Like, oh, I'm a lesbian, but I wear slacks, so I'm this type of. And I offered an alternative, which was fab.
Yes,
PHAB.
I'm glad you remembered it.
Yeah, I panicked for a second because I didn't think I would. Yeah, fab, which is parasexual.
Yeah.
Heterosexual, asexual, bisexual, and homosexual. That covers everything.
Yeah.
That is everything. Anyway, it feels similar to that, where isn't the point of the rainbow flag is that it's all the colours of the rainbow? It's everything. You don't need to then have, so what's the gay flag? No, it is. That is the gay.
Well, they've got too many now.
Yeah.
Like if we,
but I don't think it was meant to be that. Like, I don't think the idea behind the Rainbow Coalition thing was, red is gay, orange is lesbian. It's not like LGBT.
Yeah, I wasn't implying that.
No,
either.
but the whole flag is everything. That's.
But now there are enough, I don't know, sub-nations, I guess, that it would be like if we had an Earth flag.
Yes, and then all the nation flags.
Yeah, back when we were Pangea, we had a Pangea flag.
Pan as well. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And then it broke. And then we broke off into the 7 continents. It's like, we're still like we're a bit scattered, but it's only 7 of us. And then someone along the way we became like 280 countries, or however many there are.
Yeah.
Like, we should probably have
196.
Flags. 196. Yeah.
Recognised internationally.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. Still, they were like, okay, there's more than 7 of us now.
Yeah.
We should probably have flags.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe the same things happened in the community.
But I mean, again, it's like the fact that race is on there. It's like, well, that's just a different dimension entirely.
Yeah,
like, that's got
you're just throwing in something else.
Oppression.
Anyway, we've had this conversation too many times.
I know.
But yeah, so these flags came raining down from Google.
Like,
I am like
gay confetti.
Yeah, literally gay confetti. Although they were the full flags. It wasn't like gay coloured confetti.
Butt bunting.
But it wasn't butt bunting. It was literally just the flags.
Yeah.
So it was very cumbersome confetti.
Yes. It was dense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
27
It's like a
years?
screen wipe almost.
Yeah, screen wipe. Yeah, exactly. 27 years I've been alive.
Yes.
Most of those I've been using Google.
Yeah.
Never encountered this before.
Nothing like that, no.
I started frantically Googling all the gay people I knew. I was like, Russell T. Davis, fucking Ben Whishaw. Like, I'm just Googling as many people as I could think of.
Yes.
No, not happening anywhere else.
No, yeah. It's because of the news.
And that's why I brought it to your attention, because I was like, Sam, please confirm this has happened, because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And you confirmed that it was indeed happening. I don't know if it's still happening, actually. I haven't bothered Googling.
Oh, I doubt it. It's like, surely it's not that big a fucking deal.
I don't know. I mean,
but then again, I suppose it's not like it's the homepage.
Yeah.
You do have to Google her.
Like I know Scooby-Doo is a big deal. I feel like Scooby-Doo is one of those properties where, like, it's deceptively... No one really knows, like, how big a deal Scooby-Doo is.
Well, before we dive into the story, I told my father about the story. He likes Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
He's like, I always liked Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, who doesn't like Scooby-Doo?
I was like, did you? But, like, he still liked it. Do you know? He doesn't watch it. Right?
No,
But, like, he has an affection for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I liked it. I mean, I liked the live-action film.
When you think of, like, pillars of pop culture, I think it would take me a while to get to Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And yet the sheer magnitude of that franchise can't be denied.
Well, you take it for granted. It's just like, oh yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think much of it. But yeah, it's like it's like Batman, basically, because there's no, like, one true canon to Scooby-Doo anymore. No. It's just so many different versions.
Well, my father said, are they still making it? I was like, oh, they've never...
Yeah, they've never stopped.
They've never stopped. This is an ongoing, like, there are 20 different series and films. Velma's gay. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it comes around to Velma is now
officially.
She's officially canonically one of the gays.
Gay. Yeah, I mean, okay. I want to preface the whatever we're going to do about this.
Okay.
By just saying, I don't care that Velma's gay.
No.
All right? As in, like, why would I give a shit?
Yeah.
I don't care that someone's gay. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's fairy dust or whatever.
Okay.
Appropriately.
Yeah.
Are lesbians fairies? You don't think of it. They're not, are they? They're like, no, they're lumberjacks. They're truck drivers.
Yeah, fairy girl doesn't have the same ring as...
No. A fairy is an effeminate man.
Yeah.
Because it's like a girl. But yeah. What do you... I mean, I know there's loads of derogatory terms that I won't list. But yeah, you wouldn't go, oh yeah, you fucking... what would you say if you weren't going down the traditional route of, you know, dyke, etc.? What would be the equivalent of fairy, the obverse of fairy?
You brute.
Yeah, you fucking like.
Yeah, you luggish twat. I don't know.
You fucking lad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so she's gay. I don't care, but I want to kind of siphon this through the article on The Guardian.
Oh, well, okay. if it's something The Guardian care about, then...
we should care about it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the kind of the aggregate opinion that I was getting, because obviously everyone's happy about this on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, I say everyone's as in published, actual institutions are happy.
Yeah.
Most people probably don't give a shit. But the general aggregated thing was... It settled decades of fan speculation.
Right, okay.
Why were you spending your time speculating about whether Velma was gay?
Is it just because Velma was never really depicted as being in a relationship?
Well, it's because this is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's because she ticks a bunch of lesbian tropes.
Them's being...
Short hair.
Okay.
She doesn't dress in a feminine way.
Yeah.
Like the pleated skirt. Yeah, never in a relationship. Awkward. Yeah. Mainly the short hair and the glasses is what people...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then surely she should be, like, the person you'd be least happy to be made lesbian because, you went with the obvious
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So in this new show, which it's not the HBO Max adult-oriented Mindy Kaling show.
Yeah.
It's another one. I don't know what it's called, but it's just one of the various children's shows. She has a girlfriend.
Okay.
Have you done any reading on this?
No.
Or you just sort of... Okay.
No, I got steamed up enough about the HBO Max show.
Okay. Her girlfriend... Well, tell me about that first. Tell me about the HBO Max show.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is... I don't know if this is better or worse than whatever you're about to tell me.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's also a HBO Max show coming out, which looks disgusting, frankly.
Disgusting?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's everything wrong with television nowadays, I think. It's incredibly... meta and self-aware.
Sure.
The trailer is literally Velma sending a text to HBO Max, like being an ironic standing for fans who have problems with people that mess with their franchises.
Yes.
So she's this like bitter, like frantically texting HBO going,
It's
why have you changed this thing that I like?
It's a preemptive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's anticipating the
Yeah, like, oh, isn't it so clever? Because the show is already, like, you know...
addressing the backlash.
It's the backlash it knows it's going to get.
Yes.
Because we know exactly what the backlash is going to be.
But I think...
But we're not going to fix it. We're just going to address it.
No, but this bespeaks the ever-widening gulf between program makers and audiences.
That's the baffling
because
thing.
They think they are enlightened,
Yeah.
and that anybody that criticizes it is a bigot or something along those lines. And so you're going to get this show.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the audience wants.
Okay.
They're on a moral crusade.
Right.
It doesn't matter that like I didn't know really anything about this HBO Max show. When I read a little bit about it, and it's for adults.
Yeah.
My first impulse is, of course, why is there a Scooby-Doo for adults?
Yeah.
In the first place, there's just no place for that. I hate that kind of thing anyway.
Well, you were a bit like... You brought that up during the Batman discussion. Scooby-Doo feels like an even less appropriate candidate.
Oh, 100%.
Like-
Batman's at least dark.
I'm pretty sure...
Scooby-Doo isn't dark.
No.
It's got the horror-y thing going
No, that's the thing.
in a very camp way.
When they were doing test screenings for the original Scooby-Doo, they had to lighten it up a bit.
When you say the original Scooby-Doo...
Like, whatever the original Scooby-Doo series was called.
Oh, like
back
the
in the
animated
60s. Yeah,
series,
like when they
right.
were showing that to kids initially,
Yeah.
kids were scared of it.
Yes.
So they had to lighten it up a bit.
Yes.
And I think that helped shape what Scooby-Doo ended up... Like, the character Scooby-Doo. That kind of shaped him. But I'm pretty sure he's not in Velma because they, like, acknowledged that we can't really have Scooby-Doo in it because Scooby-Doo is what makes Scooby-Doo a kid's show. So by omitting him...
Is it called Velma?
It's called Velma.
It's about Velma, right.
I assume so, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so it's literally her being like, what the fuck are you doing? How dare you change this franchise? Things should stay the same. You should stick with the classics. I'm not open to change, whatever.
But that's, again, it's sneering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she, like, finishes the text, sends it, and then she gets a phone call from someone, and the rest of the trailer is literally just a Scream parody.
Oh, I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Because, like, the guy is like, I'm inside your house. And she goes, see, that's a classic trope. Why don't they say something?
Oh.
Yeah, no, literally. And then she goes, wait, you're inside my house? And it cuts to the outside of her, like, fucking trailer or whatever she's in. And you see blood streak across the window.
Right.
Over her screaming.
Right.
And then...
So...
I died a little.
What is it about... What's so rich about... I'm assuming the other three are in it.
Yes, well, this is...
Okay, we're going to get to that. Okay.
About, yeah.
It's animated, yeah?
Yeah.
What is so rich about those characters that, like, oh, we can do a version of a show where there isn't even Scooby-Doo, and it's for adults?
But this is the thing, they're going to bring that richness. Because I think at the beginning of the phone call, when the guy is like, hi, Velma, I need you to solve a mystery. And I think she literally responded with something like, there's actually more to me than solving mysteries.
This is my general opinion with stuff like this. I understand using a property, a pre-existing property, to bring in audiences. If you're going to depart so extremely from the source material, why don't you just do a different show?
This is like a lot of people in the comments were saying that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of just like general like mockery.
Yeah.
Of it. I think the trailer literally has something like 10,000 likes and 103,000 dislikes.
How do you even know?
There's a plugin that you can download that restores the...
I'm getting that.
Yeah, it restores the dislike.
Okay.
It's actually not that hard to find.
No. Yeah,
it's literally a Google Chrome plugin, so it's not even that difficult.
I'm getting that. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like 103,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
Proper like panning.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people are saying that, and I completely agree with them. Like, is this even Scooby-Doo anymore?
Well, no, it's not.
If Scooby-Doo's not in it, and the show the show is literally saying, oh, there's more, like, all that stuff you know about Scooby-Doo, it's not going to be that anymore. Like, that's the show's mission statement. This ain't your dad's Scooby-Doo.
No. This is your...
This ain't your racist uncle Scooby-Doo.
No, this is your daughter with blue hair Scooby-Doo.
It's this wholesome show about kids solving mysteries. Yeah. It ain't that racist Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I rewatched Carpet Remnant World, the Stuart Lee stand-up thing where he talks about Scooby-Doo a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yesterday.
All right.
Do you remember that routine? Where the whole the setup is because he has kids now.
Yeah.
He's only watched 2 films in the past like 5 years.
Okay.
One is this like obscure film, and the other one is Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Pirate Jungle Island.
Right.
273 times. And then the whole kind of the
I think that's like genuinely one of the better Scooby-Doo films as well.
I think he's merged two titles or something. Like, I don't think it's an actual one.
But like Zombie Island is genuinely considered like a classic.
In real life, as it were. Stewie's a big fan of Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole thing is because he has no experiences, he can only filter his comedy through the lens of Scooby-Doo and the zombie pirate Zombie Island. And he does the whole thing. I'm just repeating his routine, but it is great. Where it's like, whenever he says Scooby-Doo, he says he's a dog. Dog? He says, yeah, you ever seen that? Scooby-Doo, because he thinks he's human. He's indignant about the idea of being a dog. He says, yeah, a dog? You have to watch it a lot.
There's a layer of complexity that you don't get from casual viewing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not Scooby-Doo. If you take Scooby-Doo out of it, it's not Scooby-Doo.
Not Scooby-Doo.
So why wouldn't you just do an adult show about these mystery whatever is going to be from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Absent the iconography. Just do that then. This is my problem with it. This is kind of why it's demonstrably a mission statement. It's like, no, we're going to take something you already know and recontextualize it in a progressive fashion.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about it. It is like they don't care what the audience thinks. They really don't. Especially with streaming and stuff like that, because like viewing figures don't matter as much as they do on... There is a reason where like ABC, NBC, CBS, their shows are bland and cookie cutter. It's because they want to get the most people watching.
Yeah.
You know? It's like Jay Leno, his thing as host of The Tonight Show. He said it's not to be because David Letterman like won the Emmys and he was the cool one, like the one that culturally, like if you were plugged in and smart, Letterman was the one you liked,
right?
And Leno's the populist. But his statement openly was always, "I want to make the biggest. I want to attract the largest demographic possible and be funny to the largest amount of people possible."
Okay.
So like necessarily broad, all the rest of it.
Right.
That's why those shows are like that. But then you get to HBO Max.
Yeah.
And they're not under the same pressures.
They're not.
And so they will, in their advertising,
Yeah.
openly spit and show scorn for their potential audience. Because the people that are going to watch it anyway are going to like that trailer. I go, yeah, that's right. You tell the naysayers.
I don't know, though. I feel like that's the idea.
Yeah.
Is that, the people that are going to watch this anyway, this trailer will appeal to them. And it'll scare away all the racists and the people that we don't want to watch it anyway.
Well, that's the thing. It's not trying to convert anybody.
But that's the thing. The people who are going to watch this are Scooby-Doo fans.
Yeah.
The people that go on Twitter and say, "Oh, how wonderful, Velma is now one of the gays. I'm so happy I could cry," or whatever.
Yeah, that Venn diagram isn't a circle.
Do they watch?
Yeah.
Do they even watch the show?
Well, no.
My sister, her friendship group, so there's a couple of gay women in her friendship group, and she has said that like they started watching Doctor Who around the time that Jodie Whittaker came into it.
Right.
So I know that there are people that will watch something because it does something like that.
Right.
Where it's like you will get black people who will start watching a show because the main character is now black. You will get women starting to watch something because there's now women are now more represented in that franchise, like Star Wars or Doctor Who.
All usual caveats. We live in Wales.
Yeah.
I'm a white straight man.
Yeah.
Fine. But that depresses me. The fact that you would watch something for that reason.
That's not like... I would want them to find the show under better circumstances. I would want them to have a better reason to watch a show than, someone who shares the same chromosomes as me is now in it.
Yeah. They're twin?
No, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
DNA. No, I feel like that would work if I said DNA. I think chromosomes is like, I can get away with that.
I don't know, but I get your point.
Yeah. Because you've got X, Y, and XX. So there is like...
Okay.
Predefined sets.
Fine.
Let me have this.
You can have it.
I will take it from you.
Yes, fine.
I'd want them to find it under better circumstances. But is that a reliable enough way to like generate an audience substantial enough to sustain a show like that?
They're not trying to...
I can't imagine Velma is going to last beyond 2 seasons, maybe even 1 season.
I don't know.
It's going to turn up. It's going to get like a decent response from critics because they don't want to be seen as bigots.
Well, that's
audiences are going to bomb it.
Yeah,
no one's going to watch it. And the show's going to disappear.
Yeah,
it's already like doomed to fail. Not, you know, it'll find a bit of success maybe, but this isn't going to be the next big Scooby-Doo property. This is going to be a footnote in
when it comes to HBO stuff nowadays and general cable stuff, if something's well reviewed, this is a generality.
Yeah.
But if something's well reviewed, it will get renewed. If something's badly reviewed, it will get cancelled. And I think John Landgraf said, the head of FX, that his policy is, we want to tick 3 boxes. We want people to watch it.
Yes.
We want critics to like it. And we want to like it, like the people making it.
Yeah.
That there's something there. But you don't need all 3 ticked. You need 2 ticked.
Yeah.
So we need to like it. And if the critics are liking it, fine. If it's like making money, it doesn't really matter. Anything, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good way of looking at it. But when it comes to stuff like HBO Max, it's not about drawing in the largest crowd possible. It's about getting written about in the New York Times. Right. It's about being a cultural commodity that gets op-eds, that wins awards. Who gives a fuck if people watch? Most people are bigots and racists and homophobes anyway. That's how they think.
Yeah.
That's 100% how they think. And, there's the book by Ben Shapiro, Primetime Propaganda, where he interviewed hundreds of TV writers and showrunners. He kind of got in by pretending he was a liberal. He said, I never lied to them. I just wore a hat of, Harvard. He wore, a university that made people think that he would be.
Right.
And I went in and I have a Jewish name.
Yeah.
They just thought I was an intellectual left-wing. So he said that, so they were open with me. And they say, yeah, we consciously, socially engineer. Like the lesbian wedding in Friends. It's like, yeah, we were trying to change society. And it does. Politics is downstream from culture, as Andrew Breitbart said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest follows. So they do not care about us watching Velma. They don't give a shit.
Even though we're probably going to be the people watching Velma.
If it's well reviewed, I'll watch it. It will be well reviewed.
Yeah. But not even that. Just like Scooby-Doo. Eddie will watch Velma.
I mean, Scooby-Doo isn't the type of thing I would watch regardless of the reception. It's not. I don't have any love for Scooby-Doo.
No,
personally.
but Eddie
loves Scooby-Doo.
Our third occasional co-host.
He'll hate Velma.
In case people don't know. Yeah, he'll despise Velma.
Yeah.
But he'll watch it because it's Scooby-Doo and he is a Scooby-Doo fan.
Yes.
He is the type of person that they have already secured as an audience member, and they're insulting him.
Alienating him, yeah.
They are alienating him.
Yeah.
So they're not appeasing all of these enlightened blue-haired whatever that will go on Twitter and say, oh, how wonderful that this thing finally exists. But they're not the people that are guaranteed to watch it. It's Scooby-Doo fans that they are openly ridiculing.
Well, they don't want Eddie, is the thing.
No, but they've got Eddie. Whether they like him or not. And I think that's I think in general, not just in terms of shows that go more political or franchises that seem to lean into representation a lot more.
Yeah.
I think in general, that's something a lot of people that are adapting stuff take for granted.
Yeah.
Is that you've already got an audience.
Yes.
It's like with Sonic. It's like when they said that the reason that we changed the Sonic design is not because the fans hated it. It's because the general public hated it.
Right.
No catering to the audience that they've already got.
Yeah.
It's we don't even need to think about them.
I mean, it's a balance, in terms of...
I acknowledge that, why would you waste the energy trying to woo over an audience that you've already got? I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But I also think that's no reason to completely disregard
No, 100%. But, as a financial metric, which is all they care about, really.
Yeah.
If it's a choice, not that this should be, but if it came down to, there's a choice between we either please the fans or we please all the potential audience members that aren't, they're going to go with the second one every time.
Yeah.
And fuck the fans. It's about the money.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a way of doing both. You don't betray the community that made it possible. Yeah, imagine if Better Call Saul had completely, through its storytelling or whatever, just implied Breaking Bad was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's it's so much better. No, you can't do that. It's the same one I hate when bands refuse to play the hits. Love Radiohead, respect the music, but the fact they never do Creep is it's not my favourite song by any means, nowhere near, but play Creep. It was your first hit, it's what made you known.
Yeah.
But no, the network executives and producers, they're what's the bloke that owns Tim Weatherspoon?
Right.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
When COVID, in the the heat of COVID, when he wanted to reopen all the spoons, And employees were like, but it's COVID. And he was like, go work at McDonald's then. That's how they think about the fans.
Yeah.
But it's not Scooby-Doo. Go fucking watch, I don't know, what do you call it?
Continue watching your KKK rallies.
Go watch Duck Dynasty. Or something. Yeah.
And fucking Birth of a Nation.
Yeah,
Go on.
Go on.
That's clearly what you should be
The
watching.
original Birth of a Nation,
Yes.
not the new Birth of a Nation.
No.
Right, okay. So that's the new HBO Max
Yeah.
show.
But also, yeah, the 4 of the 5, Scooby-Doo
yes.
not being the one of the 4,
Yes.
they're also in Velma, the show.
Yes.
And some changes have been made.
So Mindy Kaling, whose show it is, right? She's writer, producer, all
Yeah.
that. She's
Is
voicing
she any
Velma.
good?
Well, Never Have I Ever, which is her show on Netflix, is quite good.
Okay.
I haven't seen the Mindy Project, but apparently it's good. Obviously, she was one of the writers on The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like alright as a comedy writer performer.
Okay.
Obviously now, maybe... 'Cause the thing I've always quite liked about her is that it's not all about the woke Olympic shit.
Okay.
But it seems like that's going
This
to change
seems
now.
to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, some changes have been made. So yeah, she is voicing Velma.
Which, let's not even go into the double standard of that.
It's difficult to tell because the trailer, it's set at night and it's in like a dark location. So it's difficult to kind of gauge the extent to her...
Right. Ethnicness.
Yeah, like how dark her skin tone has become. I don't know if her ethnicity now matches Mindy Kaling or whether she's still supposed to be...
I just assumed she was
whatever
still,
she is at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mindy Kaling is voicing Velma.
Oh, that said, go on, because you've told me 2 of them. So
Yeah.
tell me the other one you told me.
Well, Constance Wu is now playing Daphne.
Right, no, so that to me would imply they have been racially changed.
Okay.
Because why would you go out your way? Yeah, we'll have a person of Indian origin voicing Velma, and Constance Wu, who's
voicing Daphne.
What is she, Chinese? I can't remember exactly. I think she's Chinese.
It's that portion of the world.
Yeah, she's Asian.
Yeah.
Voicing, otherwise, like, it feels like a bizarre, it's like prodding almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so Constance Wu is playing Daphne.
Yeah.
Glenn Howerton
Oh, yeah.
is playing Fred.
Yeah, one of the It's Always Sunny guys.
Oh, God. Okay, all right. And Sam Richardson is playing Norville. Not Shaggy. Norville.
Norville.
Have you seen the picture?
No. This is not going to mean anything to our listeners. I see. Okay.
What I've shown Sam.
I did not know that. Let me
audiences.
I need to look at the other 2 as well.
I've now shown him the character portraits.
So, yeah, okay. Well, he's a black man.
He rather is, isn't
So
he?
Sam Richardson's a black actor, comedian. So Norville looks like, not because he's black, a douchebag.
He's got that, like...
It's the goatee.
Yeah, kind of expression,
Yeah,
isn't he?
Kind of like, he's got dreadlocks, sort of. Not
like
dreadlocks.
mohawk dreadlocks.
What? There's a name for them, right?
Yeah, that is a style.
What's it called? What are they fucking called?
Not crow...
No.
bars. What are they called?
Crow bars.
Crow...
Oh my god, what are they called? It's not exactly this, but the lines.
Yeah.
Something lines.
It's crow something.
Is it crow something?
We so don't know our fashion, do we?
No. Oh, that's going to really wind me. Anyway, Constance, Daphne, it appears as though her eyes have been drawn a bit Asian-y.
Yes. It's still Daphne, but her eyes, there's more of a slit.
And it's a little bit of a tan, but she's still a redhead.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of a tint.
Yeah.
And Fred, the white guy, looks dopey as fuck.
He does, doesn't he? He looks like Shaggy.
He does.
Looks like how you would normally depict Shaggy.
Yeah, Norville looks. How do you describe that?
It's weird. Like
he doesn't look like a black Shaggy.
No, he just looks like some black guy.
And this is not me. Oh, he's black. I mean, it's clear what they're doing, and it's annoying, and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's the black version of Shaggy. He looks just like he's a cool guy.
And there's nothing about his posture in that character poster that implies Shaggy in any capacity.
No, Shaggy is like the adult understanding. He's like a stoner, basically, isn't he?
But he doesn't look like a stoner. He doesn't look like he's hungry. He doesn't look scared. He doesn't look like anything you would normally associate with Shaggy.
He looks like he's in the 90s. He looks like a member of East 17. That's what he looks like.
Right.
Yeah, that sort of stay another day. the Christmas song,
Oh, okay.
where they're all like, it's
Yeah.
like urban Christmas outfits.
He looks like he's from like Brickleberry or something.
What's that?
Just like some.
What's Brickleberry?
Brickleberry is like it's like an adult animated cartoon show that was on Comedy Central or something.
Right.
I think.
Oh, yeah,
it's one of like
Velma's-
the thousands of adult comedies that have come about in the wake of like Family Guy.
Yeah. Velma's 100% Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They've cast her in shadow to kind of not make that the thing of the thing.
Yeah.
But no, she is.
Okay.
I see. Norville. Well, Norville does sound like a black name. It does.
Okay.
It's like...
I'll give them that. I
No,
guess.
it does. Like, but... So it's not like a massive... But it's clearly what they're doing. You're literally one Indian, one Chinese, one white, and one black.
It's so strange though. They're like compared to Fred, who looks dopey as fuck. But you got to admit, there's more personality to Fred than there is to either of the other characters.
Yeah. But
It looks like they haven't finished drawing the other two. There's so much more detail to Fred.
Yeah.
I encourage anyone, just look up like Velma like character posters or Velma cast.
But
And you should find this.
But you know what they're going to do, though? Fred is going to be the dumbest character.
Yeah.
He's going to be the dumb white guy.
Yeah.
That either kind of accidentally makes microaggressions and will learn a lesson, or he'll, like, the fact that he is the blonde, good-looking one, they're going to undermine that, undercut it constantly.
Which, like, in Velma's, the show Velma, in Velma's defense, I think that's the direction Fred's character's been going in for a while.
Yeah.
I know that there's now this sort of ongoing joke that he and the Mystery Machine are basically a couple.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Fred is in love with the Mystery Machine.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's become a lot more, like, strange and obsessive over, like, various iterations.
Well, yeah.
But this seems to be the most extreme, from what I've seen, this is the most extreme
Dilution. Yes.
of Fred. I don't know his last name.
Maybe
I'll Google that,
Well, it is
and I'll find a show where he's black as well.
It is. I was talking with someone about this the other day, that one of the dirtiest words now in art is deconstruction. That used to be a good thing. You unpacked something, you looked at it.
Yeah.
Now it's either watering down something that was potent, or it's, oh yeah, that was wrong. We're now going to do comment on it, and go in the opposite direction. Yeah, it looks hideous.
Yeah,
the whole thing looks hideous.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, I don't think anything I have to say is worse than that.
Okay, well, that was my suspicion, but do you want to fill me in on what you were going to talk about?
Well, firstly, so Velma has a girlfriend in this new show.
Okay.
Called Coco Diablo.
Right, okay.
Which, Coco Diablo, that's basically Chocolate Devil, right?
Yeah.
I think that lends some credence to the LeBron James controversy. Maybe Velma is a racist. Okay, so there's an article in The Guardian from Julie Bindel, who's an older feminist, who I don't hate. Is like, she's been okay on some things. And the headline was, Scooby-Doo's Velma has finally come out as a lesbian. My dream has come true.
Uh-oh.
So get a life.
Yeah.
I quite like her, but your dream has come true? So this is a quoting from the article. And I definitely identified with Velma. Like her, I was always the odd one out. Of course, I didn't wonder at that young age whether she was a lesbian, but I certainly knew that she was what we used to call a tomboy, quote unquote, just like me. Although I was never keen on her pleated skirt, I loved the fact that she wore baggy jumpers and defied femininity. She also shared my view of the world, getting exasperated with the boys, being cleverer than them, so that's self-congratulatory right there, and showing how girls do not have to adhere to stereotypes of femininity and passiveness. Listen. I don't think sexuality should be a factor in children's programming, full stop.
I can't imagine anything about SpongeBob has changed or improved since SpongeBob came out as gay.
No, and nor do I think children's programming should be a venue for social whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care that Velma is gay. It
Sure.
is meaningless to me that Velma is gay.
Okay.
Right? But this is the point, and it kind of alludes to what you said earlier, and what we've said about Doctor Who. If you already identified with her, why was it a requirement that she be a lesbian?
Absolutely.
That's the stuff to me where it's... oh, she likes to shag women. I like her even more now. I like to do that. I like to shag... do you know what I mean? And again, all usual caveats, this comes from... I'm not a minority in any sense along the typical axes.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, no, there's only one axis you belong to, isn't there?
Evil? Is that where you're going with that? The axis of evil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're a Nazi.
Okay.
You're a white supremacist Nazi, Sam.
Well, sure. Well, like I said, I'm on most of the axes. Like, I'm a minority in some axes, in that I'm in the whatever percentile with IQ, and yes, I'm a white supremacist. No. But, you know, I've never understood that, oh, he looks like me, yeah, I'll now look up to him. What is that? What is that? In 2020, Tony Savone, a supervising producer on the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated animated series, confirmed that Velma had long been intended to be lesbian rather than bisexual, as some people read her. Then he said, "We always planned on Velma acting a little off and out of character when she was dating Shaggy, because that relationship was wrong for her, and she had unspoken difficulty with the Y." It's a children's show. What's with the fucking psychosexual drama? What do you mean? I don't care what Velma's like. Oh, she's struggling in her relationship. Catch the mummy. Go catch the Frankenstein. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? This is, and like I said, this is the children's show. This isn't the HBO Max thing.
I wonder if they've done the episode yet. You know, the Rosa episode for Doctor Who, where the villain was literally just a time-traveling white guy who was racist?
Yeah.
There was no clever sci-fi abstraction of racism.
No.
In the same way that the Daleks are like an abstraction of Nazi purity.
Yes.
And the Cybermen are an abstraction.
There was nothing allegorical.
Nothing allegorical. It was
literal.
literally just a white racist.
Yes.
Because that's how on the nose writing has become.
Yeah.
Because you need to be congratulated, and so you need to know what people are congratulating you.
Yeah.
Or they should be congratulating you for.
Yes.
I wonder if Scooby-Doo's done that at this point, where it's just like, oh, it's Mr. Blah 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 from the KKK. He was the bad guy all along.
Oh, probably. I mean, the fact that they're...
Well, he's not even in a costume. Like, it's maybe they've done an episode where like he's just like the guy throughout the episode, and then at the end when you see him for like the monster that he is, then he puts on the KKK. He puts outfit.
on the it's the opposite of what they usually do.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the masking. Look, I'm probably not going to watch the show, right? But I'll give her the
really don't want to.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt insofar as she hasn't leaned too much into the woke shit before.
No.
So maybe the fact that they are now of varying ethnicities, it's incidental. It's not going to matter to the story at all.
No.
But I feel like it is.
I feel like it is.
Benefit of the doubt, but even if it's... This is one of those things, right, where I think the latest example I've heard is usually using the transgender argument, but if you're in a shop and someone walks in with a massive tattoo on their face, and you're looking at them, and then they go, well, why the fuck are you looking at me? He's like, because you got a massive tattoo on your face. This is that. It's like going, well, even if they don't lean into the woke shit, it's like, they've done a thing by making all the characters different.
Yeah.
And if you raise that, they go, well, why does it matter? But if it doesn't matter, you did it.
Yeah. No, exactly.
If it does or doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, why have you done it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to matter, isn't it? It's going to be a thing. A novel is going to be so fucking irritating.
Oh, it's going to be the worst.
There's just a couple of more things I wanted to say about the Scooby-Doo thing.
Yeah, go on.
The dominant thing, other than, it's settled decades of speculation. Finally, that was the word that kept coming up. Finally, Velma's gay. Finally.
As if that's what was missing.
Well, that's the thing. The only people that could have been anticipating this are adults. Kids weren't waiting for Velma to be... So this is what I'm saying. Get a life. If you are focusing on children's television and whether a character is going to come out or not, you are wasting your life.
Right.
You are wasting your life. Yeah, at the bottom of the article, this is a side thing, there was another article, and it was, why did Liz Truss wear the same outfit as a fictional fascist? Now, there's a TV show by Russell T Davies called Years and Years, which was Emma Thompson playing a fascist dictator, basically.
Yeah.
And she wore a similar outfit. And so that was the headline. And then so I read it. And then they described the show. And then about 3 paragraphs down, they say, surely it's a coincidence, but it's weird, isn't it? Was essentially.
Right.
It's like, but, hey, still write that article where the headline can be, why did Liz Truss wear the same outfit as a fascist? In the article, they say, it's obviously a coincidence.
Right.
But, yep, we're going to write that article.
Sounds like you got clickbaited.
What's The Guardian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Guardian can clickbait.
That's what I mean.
I don't think they're above it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Someone in the room. Why lamps are racist? That's everything they write now.
Yeah. It's like when YouTubers are doing like a video, and then they'll go, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I guess I'm just like padding the runtime to get to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I think 10-minute. Your video has to be at least 10 minutes long for you to enable advertisements.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, got to get to that 10-minute mark. It's
Right.
like, well, fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't just say it.
I'm just waiting for the next headline. New Scooby-Doo trailer alludes to mystery machine buzzing beneath Velma's blanket. That's going to be the next one. Okay, we're done with that, right? That's that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something I want to say.
Oh, God. What could you possibly...
So there's a new show, I think it's on Peacock, called A Friend of the Family.
Okay.
It's based on a true story, I don't know if we've talked about it before, of this girl that was kidnapped, essentially. Well, she was kidnapped. She just didn't know it, really. Yeah, so there's this family, they're friends with the neighbours. The father of the neighbour family, the patriarch, he's a very charismatic figure, and he takes a liking to this young girl in the family.
All right.
And he basically ends up driving off with her, convincing her that they've been abducted by aliens and they need to mate.
Right.
It's a true thing. It's fucked up and all. Yeah, it's one of the new. It's true crime, like The Staircase and all those things. So I had it down as a potential topic to review, but it kind of made me want to talk about something a bit wider. Okay. So bear with me.
All right.
If you keep abreast of the television landscape, as in scripted television, there's a certain malaise that's setting in, right?
Okay.
It's not spoken about, and it may not even be consciously experienced, but there's a certain stagnation. More shows these days are well reviewed than not. Shows that are negatively received are maybe 1 in 8 to 1 in 10, I would say. And it's similar to your point about cinematography. The standards for excellence have shifted. Okay? We need less TV. Said that time and time again.
They were saying that years ago.
Yeah, I know. And it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to do that, we need to recalibrate our critical senses. This doesn't mean being sniffy or not giving things their due, but the performances are solid, the writing's decent, it's nicely shot, can't be enough anymore to merit more than a lukewarm review. The Emmy categories are aptly named Outstanding Drama Series, Outstanding Comedy Series. But there's very little now that is outstanding. You know, there's that poll in The West Wing where they're trying to get a sense of, I think it's what the public think about the MS, the president's MS.
Okay.
And they're demoralised when they find out, like, however much a percentage think that it's an issue. But then they later qualify, but how much do you care? And then when the results come back on that, they're elated because people don't care that much.
Yeah.
And it's the same reason that Prey and films like that rank among the best reviewed of the year. I can't give it a negative review. So we don't take into account how positive the reviews are.
Yeah.
It's a binary. I know taking all those kind of nuances into account is tricky to aggregate, but by modern standards, mediocre shows are well above 90%.
Right.
On Rotten Tomatoes and things like that. Something has to change so that the truly great shows stand out. It's obviously all opinion, but I would say there are fewer than 10 shows now that the critics truly adore. They get the YouTube analysis videos, you know, like The Bear, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They get listed as amongst the best ever, even fewer, obviously. But you wouldn't know it. We're in the movie from 1999 stage of criticism, which is everything's just going well and something's missing. It's that feeling.
Okay.
It's not like the best shows now rival the best ever. There are some that are not far behind, but we don't have a Sopranos anymore. There's just more TV. The golden age... Sorry.
I was going to say, do we not have a Sopranos anymore, or do we have 20 Sopranos and that's diluting the importance of each of them?
No, we don't have a Sopranos anymore.
Okay.
The golden age of television had significantly fewer shows.
Yeah.
And significantly more quality. This is the copper age, as we've talked about before. It's the same thing with most Marvel movies as well. Like, a friend of the family is very competent.
Yeah.
And this is going to lead me into a Sam's Lexicorner.
Okay.
Because we need an adjustment for inflation. Or...
Samuel. Words. Phrases. Sam's Lexicorner.
critflation.
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 Okay.
So that is when reviews haven't been adjusted for the general mean upward trend in quality. So I need to qualify this.
Critflation and critical inflation.
Critical inflation.
Got it, okay.
While that trend is accurate, it doesn't mean that the best now is better than previous years. It's just that the average has increased.
Yeah.
And there's no good reason why that should stop masterpieces being masterpieces. Like, why should the fact that things are overall better, if not as good as they used to be, stop great shows being made? But it does seem like that's happened. That there's been a dilution of the magic.
Maybe this bears more of a similarity to video games, video game criticism. Because I think that, like, I'm not as abreast with mainstream scoring and trends as I used to be. But, like, at the time where, like, Call of Duty was the big banner franchise, they were consistently pulling in, like, 8s and 9s. And, like, 7s, 8s, and 9s.
Yes.
And those were, like, average.
Yeah.
Like, 7... If a game has less than a 7, it's a bad game, even though you've still got 6 and 5. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
I think, generally speaking, it's considered that that's the case.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's that problem definitely exists in gaming as well, where, like, just, like, a generic AAA title will come out and it'll get, like, an 8 or a 9. And you still don't know if it's even any good or not.
Well, okay, so with the TV stuff in particular, and film, there's been an inflation of competence and a deflation of excellence. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But that's different. What you're talking about is worse, because the thing with Rotten Tomatoes, for example, and how it aggregates, reviews, is this review broadly positive? Okay, that goes to a percentage point. So you could have a review that's like, this is a 6 out of 10, and that's going into the 95% rating with that, because they don't take into account how well reviewed it is. The fact that people give it like 8 out of 10, that is bad, because that is really saying that it's... Do you know what I mean? Like with Prey, like I said, we probably would have been counted towards the 90 whatever percent it is.
Maybe.
But we wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10, would we?
No.
We'd give it a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
That game, that's worse.
Yeah, like in that instance, it might be the critics that need sorting out rather than the products.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is to the
But
critics.
like not in the same way that like, because I think what you're talking about is just like critic averages. Like aggregate sites need sorting out.
Yes.
Whereas
partly.
Yeah.
So
that would certainly help.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas with video games, it's the fact that these big outlets are giving overinflated scores, and that is kind of like diluting the... the meaning of that.
Yeah,
like I said, like
it's like racist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like using the word racist.
Yeah, exactly. Like a 7 or an 8, you look at that and you go, yeah, but I don't know if it's any good though.
Yeah, that's
even
a problem.
though it's like a 7 or an 8.
That's a problem. Yeah, no, this is mainly about things like aggregation websites need to change the formula so that they take into account how
that would be
received.
that's my question to you. So like you were saying, like the average is higher.
Yes.
For you, like the average,
the mean quality is higher
of a television show is higher than it was in the golden age of television, and we need to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you think as an example, I'm not saying like, oh, you clearly have the solution here, Sam. So for example, should the threshold for rotten scores be raised? Say that everything below a 50% currently is rotten. Should that be raised to 60?
No, because if you take into account what I'm proposing, that factors into the percentage anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, it's mainly about things like Rotten Tomatoes. It's also to critics that need to kind of take into account the fact that the mean has increased, and that a friend of the family, which will probably win awards and all the rest of it, is fine. It doesn't deserve a glowing review. Also, it's just not that good.
I feel obligated as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm like...
No, go ahead.
I feel obligated as well to at least ask you the question, how much of this is because of the amount of television you watch?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
Because on the one hand, while you might be amongst the most qualified to talk about this, because you watch everything.
Yes. No, but it is also... Yeah, I concede this is...
Yeah.
It's a narrow thing. But it also does apply to anybody that does use Rotten Tomatoes as a barometer for if they're going to watch something, which I think is quite, that's like a thing you hear in films all the time. Is what's the Rotten Tomatoes score, or whatever.
Yeah, well,
I'm not talking about like mainstream audiences.
No, I think they use audience scores. I don't think they pay attention to critic scores.
I don't think mainstream audiences pay attention to it at all.
Well, the people who do pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes, I think more of them tend to.
Oh, definitely, I wouldn't say that.
No, I would. I've seen.
Why? If you're paying attention to Rotten Tomatoes, it's because you care about how well received the film has been.
Yeah, but I've seen it too many times where people go, look at this, look at Star Wars. It's got like 87% critic and 32% audience. Like, this is proof that it's no good, and the critics are out of touch.
Yeah, there are examples of that, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like, I can say that to me, the audience means nothing. I don't care what. No, absolutely.
It definitely needs to be taken with a pinch of salt.
But so does it's not like, I really take what critics.
Yeah.
The only reason that it matters at all to me is because I try and keep my finger on the pulse of the films that are coming out and everything.
Yeah.
And I want to watch anything that's good. Obviously, I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And the only way, unfortunately, to do that is because I can't watch everything. I have to use something to calibrate what I'm going to watch. It doesn't mean that I agree. Like I said before, all the films I end up watching are like maybe 1 in 20 or something, if not fewer than that. But I've got to use something. And, am I going to sooner listen to people who have watched thousands of films that do it professionally or just people?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like spitting on audience, right? They are sometimes right, and the critics are wrong. But yeah, like that never means, like, because we do a film quiz where they tell you the IMDb score, and you're like, oh, I don't know, it's pretty low. It can't be. It's like, yeah, but they're people.
Yeah.
They parasite on
this. Yeah, exactly. It's oh, it's only got a 6.7 on IMDb, and it's like whiplash.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's mainly for Rotten Tomatoes, etc. But it's also for critics that need to stop. The ones that do give glowing reviews to shows that are now just fine.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a unique problem for someone that watches a lot of television. But also, if you are going on Rotten Tomatoes to, is this any good? And it's 100%. It's not a reflection of how actually good the show is.
Yeah.
And also, 5 people have reviewed it. So who cares? Oh, there are 5 people. Give me a room.
Yeah.
If you all like the show, there you go, 100% then. It's not. But I have another Lexicorner entry.
Okay. Double barrel.
Yes.
Double
I promised it on the last episode.
Okay.
We were talking about universes.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
And the multiverse is, the 2 theories are universe or multiverse. And multiverses can't be a thing because it's either a multiverse or it's a universe. You can't, And universe, uni, implies one. So even if there are infinite universes, as we currently understand it, all of that together would be a universe.
Yeah.
So we need to change the terms.
The thing that we call the multiverse, which is the collective,
is actually the universe.
That is the actual universe, yeah.
So this is what I've changed it to.
Okay. What are you changing, just so we're clear?
Well, so universe and multiverse, right? They can still apply to the theories.
Okay.
I will also accept monoverse and polyverse.
Okay.
But I've landed on microverse and macroverse.
Okay.
Microverse for whatever universe you happen to live in, and the whole thing together is the macroverse.
Okay. Do you worry that there would be some confusion with, when you talk about the microverse, you're talking about the microscope, like the portion of the universe that to us is microscopic, that we can't see?
No.
Like the universe of like bacteria and atoms?
No. I mean, micro is applied to...
like quantum foam, like all the really small shit?
Yeah, no. I mean, micro is a prefix that applies to so many different things. I don't think microscopic isn't even what... Microwave is the first thing that came to mind.
Right.
No, micro is just small, isn't it? Microchip. It's anything that's small.
Okay.
But microscopia.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, in this context, it's being used for small. Micro is small, macro is large.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better? Look at me, this is my first Sam's Lexicorner where I'm like calling you out.
Well, you're wrong, obviously.
We'll
see.
Carry on. We'll
yeah.
see. Wouldn't it be better to come up with something where, like, the universe, like the preface to verse, is like a piece, and the preface to the multiverse one is the whole that those pieces are constructed from?
Can you give me an example?
I'm trying to think of one. but like you sort of get what I mean. Where like
Well, yeah,
because universe is one of the verses in the multiverse.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it makes sense that that's the piece, and the multiverse is the whole.
Yeah, you're saying chunk verse or Terry's chocolate orange verse.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, segment or orange.
Yeah,
something like that.
But it's hard to know what prefix you could affix to verse that wouldn't be like, I don't know, Z verse and Scrabble verse. Like it would be something completely counterintuitive.
Ace verse and deck verse.
Yeah. Obviously, there's an implied value in that as well, so that's...
Yeah, exactly.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy with microverse.
All right, okay, fine, sure, whatever.
So there you go, that's Sam's Lexicorner.
Cool.
Samuel. Words. Phrases. Sam's Lexicorner.
I'll tell you what I watched recently.
What'd you watch?
You seen Mad God?
I have.
Oh, okay, all right.
I didn't bring it up to you then.
No. Yeah, it seems like the type of thing you would have brought up to me.
I don't know what... I mean, it was just one among the many films I had to watch that week.
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like the framework in which you describe Mad God is like striking enough.
Yeah, and it's animated.
It's different enough. Well, this is the thing. Yeah. I'll tell the audience. Yeah. So, yeah, Mad God is like... It's an stop-motion film from Phil Tippett.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, like one of the guys who worked on the visual effects for Jurassic Park.
Is he British?
I'm not sure.
I think if he's British, it would be Phil Tippett.
Okay.
And if he's American, it would be Phil Tippett.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Genuinely no idea. But yeah, he worked on the visual effects for Jurassic Park and other big films as well. And this is basically like being his passion project, his baby for like, what, 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years he's been making... I assume single-handedly initially, but this film does have credits, so more people came along at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's basically just this like big stop-motion showcase of like, I'm assuming this like person's descent into hell.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The trailer is very like visual heavy. Oh, also the big gimmick as well is that this is with no dialogue.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue in Mad
Yes.
God. It's all told through visual storytelling. So I was like, yeah, all right, I got to give that a go. And I think it was only like 90 minutes as well.
Well, yeah.
For stop motion, which is like, fair enough. But just like a film that was 90 minutes, like, oh, good, 90 minutes and it's over.
Oh, to me, that's, like instantly bumps up a star.
Yeah.
If it's under 2 hours. Yeah.
But yeah, Mad God was one of those. So I was like, oh, I'll watch Mad God then. And it's like, if you see the trailer to if you see the poster to Mad God, you've seen the film.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I shouldn't have been disappointed, I guess.
I had no idea about what it was when I watched it.
No.
I think it's on Shudder.
Yeah, so it was like horror-y.
Horror-y.
It's very like...
It's an adult kind of... It's almost like a Romanian art animated movie.
Well, that's the thing. I think like the art housiness of it doesn't really set in until... For me, it didn't really set in until I started watching the film.
No, yeah.
The trailer is just kind of like...
I didn't even see... Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, I think I saw the trailer, and it is just kind of... A lot of it is just like imagery, just like imagery from the film, but it focuses on like the sort of disgusting, gory, textural angle of it.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like the best thing about it. It is a visual feast.
Yeah.
You got to give it that.
Yeah.
Monotone, I'll give you that.
That's it. It's not nice to look at. It's impressive.
It's impressive, and it's not nice to look at, but I think in the way that it
in the way that it wants. But yeah, it's an interesting kind of paradox that, isn't it? It's like Wolf of Wall Street. It's, they show the excess by being excessive. But yeah, it's excessive.
But it's excessive, yeah, exactly.
It's like, but this world's ugly, yeah, but I don't want to not like looking at it. It's like, no, I don't know. It's the kind of, it's really not my thing.
No.
Really not. I just kind of, it like felt a bit grimy and just...
Yeah, and like I'm perfectly okay with that being like what the film wanted to be. And I think if it was, it did pull it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of... It is very art housey. It is very like... It's not... Even though there's no dialogue to prop it up, it's not really clear like what it's doing.
You're not meant to know what's happening or care about the people. There are no characters. It's visuals.
It is pure visual.
It's just evolving visuals. That's what it is. And that's what you want to do.
It's exactly the type of film that you would get from a craftsman making a film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly the type of film you'd expect from a visual effects artist who's not a writer.
Yeah.
Doing a film in which
who has like an aesthetic hobby horse. They're like, he's into a certain style.
Yeah.
And he's got this pin board with all, his mood board with all with like concentration camps on it and stuff. and Blade Runner and, and it's Yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing.
No.
Like stuff like that, it really alienates me. It's an academic exercise watching it. It's not.
I can absolutely see in like 20 years' time this will be on some school curriculum or what's the uni curriculum.
Yeah, in uni.
On like
from
an animation module.
It reminds me of things that I saw in the animation module.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Eastern Europe.
It feels like it could go on an an education curriculum, but really it feels like now that he's done it.
Yeah.
Like, he's done it. Good for him.
Yeah.
But it feels like the only real purpose of this film is to be on his show reel.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, I made a film. Look at this film I made.
It's one of those things...
Oh, cool, you clearly know what you're doing. We're going to bring you on to do something else now.
It's a magnum opus, but most people aren't going to appreciate that because only he knows how long it... Well, not only he, but you know what I mean. Only he can really appreciate how long it took, the effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
Most people, they just want to watch a film and enjoy it. They like...
Yeah.
That's most people watching Wallace and Gromit aren't really thinking about.
No,
and you shouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
No.
It can be frustrating when you put so much hard work into something.
Yeah,
and no one appreciates it because they don't see it. But then you have done your job.
Yeah, but that's like with Mad God, because there is nothing else. Because it is just the craft.
Yeah, because it's just the feat of the thing.
The fact is, it exists is like more important than anything that happens in the film.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not enjoyable.
No, that is the selling point of the film.
Yeah.
This exists.
Pretty much.
And if you're studying the craft, it's probably enjoyable to look at it as just like a feat of stop motion-ness.
Yeah.
Because it is well put together.
No, it is. It's well made.
But I would say that the disappointing thing for me is that if that is the only real purpose to Mad God, if it is just like this kind of tonal... Like, it's an experience. You watch it to be in a certain mood and to see... all this fantastic stop-motion animation before you, it's disappointing that when they fall back on live-action footage... that they've, like, messed with the frame rate for. That whole, like, sequence with the doctors, and then I think above the surface, like, they kind of show you the circumstances that led up to that guy going down into hell or whatever it is. All of that is live-action footage. And that just felt like... It compromised the purity of it for me.
Yeah.
That was the moment for me when it was like... Okay, I acknowledge this isn't going to be like a film. This isn't going to be like a thing that I'll come back to. But I can enjoy it like on its own terms. And then it did something that corrupted its own terms. It wasn't stop motion anymore.
I can't even... I was never in it to be out of it. Do you know what I mean? I can't like say... Yeah. Oh, it compromised the purity because I didn't. If that was pure, I don't want to know what dirty is. But you know what I mean? It's like,
well, Mad God is dirty. Like,
yeah.
It is a dirty version.
That's what I mean. Like, when are you going to be in the mood to watch Mad God?
Oh, never again. I will never see it again.
And it reminds me of coming back to Stuart really quickly. He's talking about the act, the performance not going well, as he does, and he says it's like being trapped in a thicket. I said. It's interesting and it's not enjoyable. And that's kind of what you could say about Mad God.
Yeah. I think that with Don't Hug Me, I know it's like it's a different type of horror. What Mad God's going for and what Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is going for. I think that is a better horror experience than Mad God.
Yeah.
And I think even if Del Toro's Pinocchio is not good on a narrative filmmaking level, the craft of it is just going to be more impressive than what Mad God's doing anyway.
Well, Mad God it's relic. I can't really complain about how it was put together, but it's horrible to watch it.
Yeah,
it's the kind of horror film or horror experience where it's grimy. It's like it's just not pleasant.
Yeah, you feel like you need a bath afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are people to whom that is a selling point, and there are people to whom
I guess
the craft of it is a selling point. I don't know if anyone listening is that person.
No.
If by chance you are, hey, Mad God is a thing that exists.
Yeah. Okay. I also saw a film.
You also saw a film?
Yeah, it's called Vengeance.
Oh, is this the
It's the BJ Novak
thing. I think that's why I didn't see Vengeance.
Yeah, I get why you'd be annoyed by him. Very quickly, it's about a New Yorker who like writes for New Yorker magazine or whatever. He's a liberal, pseudo-intellectual wanker. Like the film thinks that of him. That's not just me.
Okay.
He's got a podcast, you know.
Okay.
He's one of those wankers.
Right.
And a girl that he had like a Tinder thing with, basically, from Texas, dies. The family think he's the boyfriend. So they say, you're going to come to the funeral. He kind of feels guilted into it. He goes to the funeral, out of place in the heart of Texas. And her brother says to him, it wasn't a drug overdose. She was murdered. I want to find the person responsible. You're going to help me because you were her boyfriend and we're going to kill him.
Okay.
And then BJ Novak think, right, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
He doesn't say this to him, but like, you're in denial. We're in an opioid epidemic in this country.
Yeah.
She died. And then he kind of gets in touch with the editor. So I'm going to do a podcast about why people create conspiracy theories and myths to not have to deal with the tragic truth of blah, 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 blah. It's going to be about why people feel the need for vengeance. So that's the setup.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
It's a bit like a thesis, the film, or it's like a final year script for university. In that it's about an idea.
Has he written it?
Yeah, he wrote and directed it.
Is he a writer?
The Office.
Oh, right.
He's
Okay.
one of the writers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is this another example of like an actor turning his hand?
No, he's principally a writer. He was a writer that acted.
Okay.
He's one.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right.
It's about an idea. It's like, oh, here's my thesis idea.
Okay.
With a lot of little ideas in orbit. In the beginning, he has this spiel post-title about how America is divided. And BJ Novak is clearly putting all of his thoughts into his screenplay, into the mouth of his quote-unquote character, which is him. He said as much. It's a bit didactic, that chunk, but I know it's difficult to represent those ideas without just saying them out loud. So it's stuff like, we're not divided by region, we're divided by time. Because I can message you and you can respond in a minute, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 days. Like, he's clearly just had all these ideas about things, and I'm going to say them all in this film.
Okay.
So his initial instinct is that this girl was the victim of an overdose, part of the opioid epidemic. It takes a lot of shots at which I liked, the metropolitan propensity to over-intellectualize everything.
Okay.
Or add layers of nuance and conceptual frameworks where there aren't any, as well as the smug condescension that's kind of often nestled within that. So when he meets her family, they're like, so you're going to help us? He's like, I'm good at a few things. So I'm good at, this, that. And this is the quote, I'm good at drawing thematic connections between seemingly disparate elements and using that to illustrate a larger point or theory. So whoever or whatever is responsible for what happened to Abilene, that's the girl, I will find this person or this generalized societal force and I will define it.
Right.
So he's that guy.
Okay, all right.
Like, that's funny. And it's like that condescension of, they obviously think she's murdered, and he's like, I will find out whoever or whatever, he's just a bit of a prick, basically.
Okay.
But in the meantime, there are a lot of jokes. He's obviously a comedy writer. A lot of gags, a lot of zingers. It's refreshingly self-aware about how annoying liberal millennials are. He really is mostly the butt of the joke for the film. And he's actually a piece of shit. The character's actually a piece of shit.
Right.
It's not like, we joke and we laugh at him, but like, really, the Texans are the idiots and he's the smart... No, he's a dick. He's a dickhead. He does get like one moment to let loose and kind of say what he feels about them, but we're not meant to like him when he does that.
Okay.
I know it's called Vengeance because that feeds into the theme, but I don't think it's a good title. In interviews, Novak has said that the film is about why people feel the need for vengeance, and you kind of feel that the film then is going to undercut that or challenge that. But, spoiler, it doesn't, it confirms it.
Okay.
It's a kind of irony that folds back in on itself, but not in a totally lucid way.
Right.
It's a bit muddled. So basically, he finds out that she was killed by a character played by Ashton Kutcher, who's pretty good in the film.
Okay.
He's actually pretty... He plays it like a record producer who talks like Tom Waits. Not the voice, but like, the universe is spinning and you're here to leave your imprint. And you find out he killed her. And at the end, BJ Novak kills him.
Okay.
He just shoots him. It goes to a dark place, which is nice and unexpected. I don't think it completely feels right. It is a bit like, that's not the film I just watched.
I was expecting him to define him.
Yeah,
just don't shoot him.
That's the thing. You think, oh, okay, yeah, he thinks it's about, there's no real need for vengeance. It's about why people feel the need. But he ends up undercutting it. And you could say something about, oh yeah, he's undercutting that over-intellectualizing and over-analyzing.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a little bit confused. Because like, what was this film meant to be saying? Was it meant to be saying that, oh no, like conspiracy theories are true?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a weird one.
Well, is it played as a comedic beat? Is it played
when
as
he kills Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's a comedy, but with it's a comedy drama.
Okay.
There are gags in it like the one everyone talks about is when he's at a game and they're like, who here supports University of Texas or whatever? He's like, woohoo! But no, like the place they're from, they support the other Texas team. He just doesn't know it.
Okay.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of like fish out of water. A kid's like, you know how to fix my gun? All that sort of stuff.
Right.
But no, there's like a strain of drama going through it. But it goes to a very dark place, which is, I think, tonally inconsistent.
Okay.
But it's not bad. It's pretty good. But like I said, if you approach it thinking it is like a thesis, you've got all these ideas about America and how people are divided and liberals and conservatives and Texas and New York. And if you know that going in, I think there's quite a lot to like in there.
Okay.
It's a very like screenplay film.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it will get screenplay nominations, or is it not that kind of
I don't think it'll rise quite to that level. Like for me, it's my 5th favourite screenplay of the year so far.
Okay.
It might, but I don't think so. But I would, if what I said you like, then I recommend it.
BJ Novak, though.
Yeah, but he's playing a dick.
Yeah.
Like, it's a self-aware performance.
Should I allow that, though? Should I allow him to be like, oh, it's okay because I'm playing a dick?
Well,
it's like, yeah, but you are a dick. That's why I wasn't going to watch it.
Why don't you like BJ Novak, though? Because I mean, he plays a dick in The Office as well.
Yeah, I know that, but like... And I'm not intimately familiar with the US Office either. It's not even as if like, I had to fucking sit through BJ Novak for that long. I just like, I don't know, I think it's just his like vibe.
His face. Are you anti-Semitic?
No.
One of the
don't
things,
be like this
One
now.
of the things that the brother, Boyd Holbrook plays the brother, says to him is, BJ Novak says to him, I'm not on a Liam Neeson movie. Like, I'm not going to go out and avenge.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, wasn't that Neeson movie? Schindler's List. Like BJ Novak says Schindler's List. He's like, yeah, man, that's a good movie. You look a lot like the guys in that movie. So yeah, there's quite a lot.
There's a bit of that.
Yeah,
no, I think it's just like...
No, he does.
From what I've seen of him, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that I'd want to watch.
I've only seen him in quote unquote real life once on Bill Maher. He does have a little bit of a smug air about him, but I don't think I think that's, he can't help his face sort of thing.
Okay.
He does seem genuinely concerned about the division in America.
Okay.
And like, I want to bridge that gap, and you know. Yeah, like for the kind of film that it is, you don't get like that carpetbagger thing of the tourist, of like someone from the coast going to Texas like, oh, these people are actually people. You don't really get that. You know, you feel like, oh no, his heart is in the right place.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was Vengeance.
Okay.
We have one more thing to review.
We do?
The Midnight Club.
We do.
Yes. Do you want to give a quick plot summary?
Okay, so Midnight Club is about 8 young adults who have cancer.
They don't all have cancer.
They don't all have cancer. Some of them
they're all terminally ill.
They all have terminally ill. Yeah. They all have terminally ill. Yes, and it's sort of like, it's about all of them, but it mainly follows like our main character called Ilonka, who gets thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
And she reads up on this hospice.
Yeah,
that's the word.
Yes.
Not what I said. Like this hospice full of young people who have terminal illnesses. And there's one particular person who went there, disappeared under strange circumstances, and came back cured of her cancer.
Yeah.
And so she decides, I want to go there.
Yes.
So she goes there, meets up with like a bunch of like the people that are already there, and they have this thing called the Midnight Club, in which they meet up every midnight to sort of discuss spooky, scary stories. And so the show, it sort of ends up becoming like a serialized anthology show in a way, because it's a show of two halves. You've got Ilonka's quest to kind of figure out what's going on, how what happened to this woman, and what she can do to rid herself of her cancer and what become her friends, rid them of their illnesses. And then alongside that, you've got the stories that are being told in the Midnight Club.
Yes.
With like each character. Does every character tell a story, or is there?
No, not every character.
I think Cherie.
I honestly don't know them by name. Like I know a few of them by name.
Yeah, there's like one character like in the first episode where they say, "Oh, she never contributes," and I don't think she does contribute in the show.
Is she the other black girl?
Yes.
Oh no, the three.
She's the one who gives Ilonka the wig.
The wig. Yeah. No, she doesn't get a story.
I think she doesn't get a story, but I think her payoff is supposed to be that she's the one that jumps in when Ilonka is struggling in the final episode to finish the story.
Yeah.
I know, like the ultimate thing is like they all help tell the story.
They all help tell the story.
That's how that gets paid off.
Yes.
But yeah, I think she's the first one to jump in. So it's like, oh, she is contributing finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them get a story, and it's basically the story of their lives.
Yeah.
Like through those stories, you learn about that character.
Yes.
To varying degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of the Midnight Club.
That's the Midnight Club.
It's Mike Flanagan. It's this year's Mike Flanagan Netflix thing.
Yes. He had Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, and several horror films. It's not a mini-series, though. It's an ongoing series.
I did wonder that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I kind of knew that going in, because they're always billed as a miniseries. This wasn't. But it hasn't been. It's not one of those things where it's already been picked up for a season 2.
Okay.
We have this, and then we'll see, kind of thing.
Okay.
Given Flanagan's catalogue, it was a mental adjustment I had to make. That right, you're not in miniseries mode. This is a longer story.
Okay.
You do have to. It does change things. Because with Midnight Mass, well, I know I'm going to get to the end of the story.
Yeah.
Midnight Club is not like that. You don't know how long.
No, if this was a miniseries, the ending is thoroughly unsatisfying.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And given that it's a longer story, it's less focused than his other shows. So, the first episode of the series, I don't know if you know this, it broke the Guinness World Record.
Most jump scares.
Most scripted jump scares in a single episode of television. There are 21 jump scares.
Okay.
Now, at first, I was disappointed by this. Because I thought, but you're known for not doing that. But then he found a way to fucking make it work contextually.
Fucking Mike Flanagan!
I know. It was like he was consciously... At first I thought, he's consciously rejecting his reputation for no jump scares.
Yeah.
To show you what he's not doing. It's like Stuart Lee.
Yeah.
Again. It's like a Stuart Lee joke. But it was bold, foregrounding the jumps with the first episode. There are jumps throughout.
Yeah.
But with that density... Because I think, that's more palatable for casual viewers that just want a horror show.
Yeah.
That like the jumpy stuff. But if you're not into that, it could be a turn-off. 100%. I don't like jump scare
stuff.
stuff.
A tricky balance, isn't it? Because, the rest of the show is absolutely not that.
No, it's not that. And when you get to the end of the first episode, you're like, oh, okay, right, I know why they did that.
Yeah.
I don't have to expect that for the whole thing. But it was because if you got to get there, you know. And it is a tricky balance. We'll pull in the horror crowd.
Yeah.
But the us's that loved his other stuff. I guess the same thing with fan communities and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So the novel is based on a novel.
I didn't know that. Yeah, like a 200-page novel. It's like nothing.
It's nothing. And the novel was written in 1994. I love that he resisted the urge to update it. It's set in 1994.
Yeah.
And teenagers from 1994 are bearable.
It's set in 1994.
Yeah.
Like the story's actually set in 1994. So it's like a present-day story in 1994.
Yeah.
The show is period, but the book is present day.
The book was... so the book was written in 94, set in 94.
Got it.
The show is also set in 94.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And also, yes, I was very encouraged by the fact that this is a cast of young people.
Yeah.
And I liked them all.
I liked them all.
Even the deliberately abrasive one.
Yeah, at first I thought 8 was too many, but it settles in. I found it in the book it's 5.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know. I like that he's like, I'm adapting it. I am doing my own thing with it.
Yeah.
It's not like a really famous book either. It doesn't have a Wikipedia article.
Oh, really?
It's just this guy who wrote loads of young adult horror books.
Okay.
It's just one of them.
Interesting.
Which really shows that Flanagan is proper into his horror.
He knows what he likes.
Yeah.
When you say that there are 5 people...
5 teenagers.
5 teenagers in the book.
In the Midnight Club.
Which 5?
I don't know which 5.
Okay.
I assume Ilonka, Kevin...
well, that's the question. Has he added big characters or has he added background characters?
I assume background characters, but presumably for longevity's sake.
Yeah.
Because A, they're terminally ill, and B, just more story, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, this is an assumption, one of the benefits, and I found it really interesting to think about this, of doing a show that's set in 94, the book was written in 94, is we now have the benefit of hindsight on that time period as well. So, I'm going to guess that the AIDS character may not have been a thing in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know, AIDS was the 80s and the 90s, but now that we associate that time with HIV/AIDS, we can put a character like that in, whereas at the time it may not have been thought about.
Well, as you know, my mother is of the medical profession.
Yes.
And I watched the show with her. She's a massive Mike Flanagan fan, so she was obviously going to watch this. We watched the whole thing together. And she seemed a bit confused by him having AIDS.
Okay.
Just because I think, given his age...
Yeah.
Was it AIDS? Was it the AIDS one? I think there were a couple of them where it was from a medical perspective, it was highly unusual for them to have the condition that they have. And for it to be as advanced as it was as well.
Right.
So I think the episode where he gets lumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been the moment where she was like, oh, I wonder how old is he then? Because for him to get it to this stage at this age, that's highly uncommon.
Right, okay. Well, obviously I don't know about anything like that.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not saying it ruins the show. It's just
yeah.
interesting to get that perspective.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. The AIDS thing might have been a big thing in the book, but it seems like the type of thing that hindsight can afford you the opportunity. Yeah, didn't find any of them irritating.
Nope.
It has the Flanagan look.
Yeah.
Kind of the feel.
Yeah.
It is more young adult fiction. It is more young adulty. It's not as mature as Midnight Mass or Haunting of Hill House.
No.
Not to say that it's like, Hunger Gamesy, but it is clearly young adult fiction.
That's the thing, and I'm wondering if that was deliberate given how heavy a lot of the stuff that they're dealing with in that show is.
Yeah.
Because even through saying like, it's more young adult fiction-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're constantly confronting their own mortality, and they're talking about death and like coming to terms with the fact that they are dying.
And it's no less scary or graphic than the other shows he's done. It's not been toned down in that sense. It's more, they're teenagers, so it has a young adult bent to it. Where Midnight Mass it's dealing with very mature idea, religion and all that kind of stuff. Not that these themes aren't mature, death, mortality.
And not that these themes aren't present in
absolutely.
Either. There is a character who is Catholic or Christian. And she comes into conflict with people because of her faith.
Yes, but they're teenagers. Yeah. So it just has a young adult flavour to it.
Yeah.
I like that he can cut the cloth to match. It's like, because I'm doing a young adult thing, it's going to have that feel. It's not going to be like a Midnight Mass. They're not all going to feel like the same thing.
Yeah.
I like that he's kind of adapted it. He has adapted it.
Yeah, writing for young people and, like... I don't know. I guess they talk like young people. They certainly don't talk like someone trying to write for young people.
No.
The dialogue's very comfortable.
They're mature young people, but they would be because they're dying.
Yeah, exactly. The dialogue fits comfortably.
Yeah, it's fine. And it's not as... I know one of the problems people had with Midnight Mass was the abundance of monologues.
Yeah.
I didn't have that because I love a good monologue. But going into this, everyone was saying like no monologues or fewer monologues.
Okay.
And there's a lot less of that Flanagan dialogue.
Yeah.
They you believe them. Yeah, so when I locked into the fact that it was young adult, I was like, okay. I enjoyed it more then when I locked into that's what it was going to be.
Okay.
Clever ideas, but it's blessedly not entirely anthological. It's more like Buffy, where using horror and supernatural tropes to say something about the character, their past, their relationship to it, and their view of the other characters. I wonder how the book presented the stories, because in this, you're often clued into the meaning through which actor is playing the part. You know what I mean? If it's like a love interest, and there are characters that have a crush on each other, they'll play
characters within that person's story.
in the telling of the story.
Yes.
I wonder how the book did that. Maybe it's just like very clear. It's a clear inference.
Maybe.
Oh, they're talking about that. Do you know what I mean, though? That's an interesting...
Yeah.
Because you only get that through the cast choice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very visual cue.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, right. They think they have that sort of relationship with that character.
Exactly.
It does suffer from a similar problem to anthologies, in that some stories are weaker than other ones.
Go on, then. What was your favourite? What was your least favourite?
Oh, okay. Well, I really liked Anya's first one.
The ballerina one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good introductory...
It's a good introductory one.
This is what you can expect from the stories going forward.
Yeah.
Because we don't know much about that character by that point. Like, the whole ballet angle is like a total surprise.
Yeah, but you get it as well. It bleeds through, like, I knew, she's talking about herself. This is what happened to her.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Very clever. I liked the car one, which picks up the hitchhikers.
Yeah, that's very, like, concepty.
Yeah.
Also, fucking thingy.
Yes, Elliot.
Elliot.
Yeah, I can't even remember his real name now.
No,
who
you are, Elliot. You're Elliot, okay?
The Flanagan guy.
Yeah, the Flanagan guy.
There's a couple of them that pop up.
Yeah, less of that.
A lot less of that. I think there were 3, right?
Yeah, it was very weird to see Zach Gilford. There's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you why.
To see him in such like a... Given how important he was to Midnight Mass, how like further back he is now.
I tell you what, as well, because I haven't seen him in anything really before Midnight Mass. I know he's big in Friday Night Lights, but I haven't got to that yet. But Midnight Mass... It's a good performance. It's not bad by any means, but it's like he's like every guy. He's like he's the normal guy.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was nominated. Him and Linklater.
Yeah.
They were the 2 big awards nominees. I was like, I guess. I mean, but then seeing him in this, you do appreciate the range. Then you go, oh right, he's not just doing nothing.
Yes.
Like he was playing it properly in Midnight Mass.
He was, yeah.
And in this, he's like a nice guy with hair and
who doesn't fucking explode on a canoe.
Who doesn't explode on a canoe. And of course, Samantha Sloyan. But we'll get to that.
Yes. Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes.
But no, it was nice to see, I feel like they used him right.
They used him right, yeah, and I liked him. I liked, that guy.
Yeah.
It's the weakest one, the gaming one, probably.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the game.
Yeah, summer week, this is the way it goes.
I think, because this is a problem as well, there are a couple of stories, I think the gaming one is definitely one of them, where it
have little impact on the real world events. Yeah.
We kind of know everything that story introduces, we kind of already know that about that character.
Yes.
It just confirms what we're already kind of clued into.
Well, in that story, another Flanagan regular pops up. Rahul Kohli.
Oh, yeah. Here's the question.
Yeah.
Is he the chef from Bly Manor, or is he the sheriff from Midnight Mass?
Well, he's the sheriff, isn't he?
Okay, then. I don't know, the chef came first.
No, I know.
And he was the big jump scare in Bly Manor as well.
But Midnight Mass.
Yeah, all right. That's all you have to say to me.
It was both on number one, wasn't it? Of last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
On number one thing of last year.
Number one, film or TV of last year. Yeah, no, because like you've got the Anya's story with the ballerina.
Yeah.
Where it's a genuine insight into that character.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the one where the car is going in a loop, where it's that character opening up to another character. So it's like the story itself, it like represents the shift in a relationship between two characters. Kind of a similar thing with the noir one, the detective noir one, where that's basically just a massive apology.
A massive apology,
character. Yeah. But the gaming one, it's just, that's who that guy is.
Yeah, that's like, have your room, what was that HBO anthology thing, Room 10, you're inside number 9 or your Room 10 whatever, or your Twilight Zone. If you've got 6 episodes, that's your 5th one.
Yeah.
So that's just one of them.
Also, the Terminator one as well, I thought was a bit weak.
Yeah.
I like that it does, it does get a bit out there.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, it does feel like a young person is telling that story. Because it's like, and then there's machines from the future. And that works on like a plausibility level.
Yeah.
But as a story, I think the only thing we really learn from it is that we meet, quote unquote, the guy that gave him AIDS.
Yeah. Yes.
We don't really learn anything else.
Well, around the halfway point, so around the gamer episode, it did tip for me into like, I'd rather not with the anthology thing now.
I thought that was going to happen. I thought that there were going to be. I knew there was going to be an episode where they don't meet. Yeah. And that's where we get the car episode. But I genuinely thought it was going to reach the point where like we stop having stories now. Yeah, I knew there was going to be an episode where they don't meet, and I knew there was going to be an episode, and probably the finale, where they all tell one together. Yeah. I knew that was coming. I was convinced that, is it Kevin, the main guy with leukemia? I was convinced his story wasn't going to get finished. I'm surprised that they finished it. Yes. And when Anya's second episode happens, when it happened, it felt inevitable. Oh, absolutely. Okay. It's that. Yeah. Is that the episode 5 of Midnight Club? Yes, it is. For those who don't know, because I realise we are now speaking in code. We always say that like Mike Flanagan seems to really like his 5th episodes, because every series he's done peaks around episode 5. Yeah. Haunting of Hill House is the Bent Neck Lady episode. Yeah. Obviously, it's followed on by the One Take episode, which is, achievement in television. Mm-hmm. In Bly Manor, I'm pretty sure it's the one with the housekeeper, the old housekeeper, where you find out that she's a ghost falling through time. And then in Midnight Mass, it's the episode where Zach Gilford is combusts. He combusts, that fucking horrible piece of television that we all have to live with now. And then I didn't know I think the gaming episode was episode 5, right? It was, because I was similarly waiting for 5, like, it's gonna be I think it was 5. Yeah. But no, it happened before that, didn't it? I was like, it's that. Yeah. It's that one. It's the annual one. It's the annual one. So I'm glad we got it, at least. I'm glad we had an episode 5, as it were. And I know that the stories are the point. A large part of the point. But I did want more of the real world, especially as it went on. Yeah. And especially when that narrative is gaining traction toward the end. You don't want to go back into a confection. Yes. I don't want to go now. Come on. It's like things are picking up. Well, that's what I mean by it really felt like a show of 2 halves at one point. It was like, this is the storytelling part of the episode. Okay. I'm going to be honest, like, I liked it. Yeah. I liked it. I really wish it wasn't that, though. I really, like, if it was just the hospice stuff, I'd like it
a lot more.
I'm debating as to whether this is better or worse than Bly Manor. Like, it's no Hill House, it's no Midnight Mass, so it's either third or fourth for me in terms of Flanagan.
Yeah,
shows.
let's just get straight to the point. Yeah, it's no Midnight Mass, but that's fine. Nothing's very few things.
Well, no, that's the thing. It doesn't have the tightness.
No,
like the impeccable craft of Midnight Mass.
Part of that is because it's not a miniseries.
No, and it doesn't have the emotional staying power of Hill House.
Absolutely. It's still good.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not with the anthology stuff. I just want, the hospice stuff.
As you say, it's like that's the problem you get with anthology, is some of it will be better than others. And I do think that
absolutely
a lot of the better stuff was the earlier stuff. Like I said, Anya's ballerina episode. I think Kevin's serial killer story was my favourite one.
Yeah, that was good. Like I said,
it was like that for me was the scariest portion of the show. Just like when you see the image of like the people that he's killed that are like he's having to live with. And the tension as to whether he's going to have to kill the girl that he ends up falling in love with.
Yes.
Like I was genuine. That was the only one where I was like properly invested in it, and I felt like the horror was genuinely unsettling.
Yeah. Well, everyone looking out the window at you, I liked. That's a freaky idea.
Yeah, exactly. But, and also the noir one was just fun. That was just a fun story.
That was fun. Like I said, it was the gaming one where I thought, I'm done with that now.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Yeah. And other than the car one, I don't think anything rose to the heights of like the first half of the series.
No, it's front loaded, definitely.
Yeah.
I do like that it's not an episode, a character. I like that, because that's such an obvious impulse.
Yeah.
Especially there are 8 of them, there are 10 episodes, you've got the setup of the finale, and then you have the 8 in the middle.
Exactly.
They didn't do that, which I like. I wish the mysteries were a bit more clear.
Yeah.
It's a bit, do you know what I mean? It's a bit muddy. It's a bit like, especially because you keep dipping back into their stories. It's like, okay, so there's this woman who was cured, right? Okay. And then like they're seeing ghosts and he's here and it's, do you know what I mean? I want it to be a bit more like, in Lost, there's a weird monster. What's the monster?
Yeah.
I know Lost is criticised for all, but like at least you know what the mysteries are. In this, it's like,
that's what I was sort of saying to you about like the ending felt disappointing.
Yeah,
if this was indeed the end and it wasn't being continued, because there are ghosts.
Yeah,
there are like 2 main ghosts that kind of follow the main character around.
Yeah,
and then a late series revelation is that the love interest Kevin is also seeing the ghosts.
Yes,
but they're kind of like she's mainly haunted by one and he's mainly haunted by the other, which is interesting. The ghost seems to have picked favourites. And then like in the final minute of the final episode, one of the characters walks past the portrait, and that's supposed to be the explanation as to what those ghosts are.
Yes, the founders of the
there was no hospital. Like build. Not only was there no build up to it, I don't feel like the show seemed to care what the ghosts were.
Yeah,
and it wasn't really about the house. It wasn't like Hill House where the location was a huge character. To the show, the location was just a location, really.
Yes. A lot of full-length rugs.
Yeah.
Similar to Hill House, but other than that...
In fact, I'm almost convinced that, like, this set was constructed from pieces of Hill House.
Yeah, it feels like that.
That staircase, like that lobby staircase, that's so Hill House.
Yeah, a lot of it's Hill House. Yeah, I just... I mean, it's a perennial problem with supernatural stuff. That, like, right, why are the ghosts showing up now?
Yeah.
Why, but nevertheless, he managed it with Hill House. Like I said, I just wish that the real world, as it were, narrative was a bit more focused and streamlined.
Yeah.
Flagpole Sitter was weird.
Oh, yeah. Is that just because we've seen Peep Show?
Well, yes, but here's the thing. It definitely bespeaks a cultural divide. So, like, Peep Show can probably still be defined as a cult comedy.
Yeah.
But Netflix has really inflated it. I don't think it's on American Netflix. But it's probably... So if you're on Tinder, in people's bios, if they quote something, like without context... It's most commonly Peep Show, and then after that, IT Crowd, and they're both on Netflix.
Okay, I do actually wonder, like, how many since Succession has come out, like, how many people have found Peep Show through Succession?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if that's like how most people think. It was like, oh, I wonder what this guy did before Succession.
I don't think they do.
Okay,
especially because it's not. You would never even think it was a British writer, comedy, right? You know.
Yeah. Well, to maintain my integrity,
yes,
I will say that at least one person.
Oh, at least one. Yeah,
has found Succession. Has found Peep Show through Succession.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, Peep Show is probably the most insider, like, quoted thing on Tinder. They wouldn't, obviously not in the US, but I don't think any British show would use a song at all. In any context.
Yeah, that's
I think because even though it's still, like I said, could probably still be called niche, it's so associated with that show. it can't be used anymore in a British show.
Yeah.
I doubt in America they even know.
Oh yeah, probably
Yeah.
not. Well,
But
what's weird about that as well is that I think the second episode also ends with a song as well.
Yes, it does.
It happens enough times that seems to set a trend where it's like, oh, we're going to
a 90s song. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
a
was
90s
it?
song
Because
is going to play us out.
yeah.
And then it just stops after a while. It just becomes ambient music again.
I think it's No Rain by Blind Melon.
Yeah.
All I can say is that my life is pretty. Yeah.
Do they do a Radiohead song as well? I know they bring up a Radiohead song in the show.
I don't. Well, they perform a Green Day song.
Yeah.
Time of Your Life. I mean, it plays right into my 90s nostalgia. That's 2 words for Anya, and I'm sorry.
Go on.
Sinead O'Cancer.
Oh, right.
Because she looks like Sinead O'Connor. She's Irish. She looks unusual when she's healthy. I don't want to be mean.
You're just being mean to the cripple now, Sam.
Well, she's probably my favourite in the show.
Exactly.
Like, she's everyone's favourite, probably.
She's everyone's favourite.
But
and also,
she does have that kind of face. Where...
Also, props to her. I'm going to compliment her before you continue to insult her.
All right, go on.
Props to her, because I think this is her first acting thing, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
I
think a lot of them it's their first acting.
I was told by my mother, so if I'm wrong, my mother is wrong, and I blame her.
Okay.
That Mike Flanagan, she was like a TikTok comedian.
Oh, right.
And Mike Flanagan saw her on TikTok, and that kind of sparked the beginning of the process that got her onto the Midnight Club. So I think this is her first proper acting gig.
Yeah, I'm not criticising her at all. No. She's great. I'm just saying that, especially because you meet her with her hair shaved, and obviously she has very large eyes.
You kind of meet her at her worst.
Yeah, and she has very large eyes. But she does look weirder when she's healthy. When she has hair, it's like, oh, okay, I've got to adjust to that.
I will say that, like, the witch story.
Yeah.
Where she just plays one of her friends.
Yeah.
And she's just made up to look like one of her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
She does stand out. Yeah.
But yeah, Samantha Sloyan. They hoodwinked me with Samantha Sloyan.
Okay.
Because at first, she's clearly cast to be very not Bev.
Yes.
And I thought...
Well, she's obviously Bev, then.
Well, no, I didn't, because here's the thing. I know that any character that's that friendly are going to be up to no good.
Yeah.
Is going to be up to no good. But it was an effective double bluff, because I kind of, in a way, my familiarity with TV, it made me dumber about it, because I thought, Mike Flanagan wants to show the actress's range.
Right.
So he's cast her in the opposite type of role.
Okay.
So that, because I was thinking that far into the production of it, it actually hoodwinked me when she turned out to be Bev. Not Bev, but a villain.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It got me.
Once she's been Bev, why would you not make her Bev again?
Well, absolutely. But she was good as not Bev as well. She's like a nice lady.
Yeah.
She has a hat and she likes water and stuff.
What a nice person.
So they got me with that. Yeah, if we're talking like a 5-star system, this is like a 3.5, I would say.
Okay.
With the trappings of a 4.
Okay.
It looks like a 4 and it sometimes feels like a 4. But I think it is diminished by the anthology aspect of it.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like, maybe there's a tumour pressing on my jubilance gland.
Right.
But I don't know. I watched it and I just kind of thought... It's a rare moment where I didn't really like something. I liked it, but I didn't really like it.
Okay.
And I think, go on, watch it anyway. It's fine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where, it's not for me, but hey, licorice all sorts. And... I recommend it to people. It's weird. I didn't like it that much.
I feel like Mike Flanagan's done enough that
that's the thing.
You can trust him even when he's not performing.
This is weak Flanagan, and it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And there are some things that are really good about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good gateway for teens. It's like if you want to get into horror or into Flanagan, you can start with this because it's not bad. I'm not saying it's it's the essence of him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying. Because it's not his best thing, start with the thing that's not as good. Don't start with Midnight Mass.
No, absolutely not. Well, I think I think if you're not accustomed to what word do we come up with? Not intellectual horror because it's not intellectual, and it's emotional horror. Doesn't quite.
It's more like that though. It's more like emotional. It's like character horror. It's
because Midnight Mass is almost purely that.
Yeah. It's horror, but with a real emotional through line.
Yeah.
And you really care about the people.
Yeah. There is a horrific climax to that show.
Yeah.
But it's emotional horror that drives a lot of it.
Well, the climax is horrific because it's sad.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Because you love the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pathos horror. I don't like. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like you really feel.
There needs to be a word for it, but Midnight Mass is strongly that.
Yes, Hill House is strongly that.
Hill House is strongly that, but I feel like Hill House has wider appeal.
And I would say Hill House is. I don't know actually. Midnight Mass is more out there. It's like, oh, that was the thing he always wanted to do.
Yeah.
That was his... Apparently he always wanted to do this as well. He always wanted to adapt that book.
Okay.
But it's not pure Mike Flanagan.
No, yeah.
Midnight Mass is... Okay, he was born to do Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
I always thought of Hill House as a drama with some horror in it. I like that show. I'm not a horror fan, particularly.
No.
I like Hill House because of the characters and the emotional story of it.
Yeah.
It's like 6 Feet Under with supernatural, scary elements.
Yeah.
And Midnight Mass is just a fucking masterpiece. I need to rewatch. I just got so excited because I haven't watched
At the prospect of rewatching it.
Yeah, because it was so weird. Like that came out from my stomach. But this is definitely in that same camp of you like the characters. It's emotional. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I were to recommend it to people,
do it?
What?
How'd he do it? Because it's not like with Breaking Bad. Like, oh, you grow to love Jesse and. No, it's like, oh, just a new mini-series. You're going to love all these characters. You're going to love all these...
Yeah.
How'd he do that? What is your secret? I would like to know his secret. When's he sleep is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Midnight Club, and he's got... the next thing he's got on Netflix is...
House of Usher.
Full of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
And films.
Yeah, he's still making shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I were to recommend this, I would say the same thing about Blind Manor, which is make this one of the first things you watch.
I agree.
You don't want this to come after Midnight Mass.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where, like, it's not Prey, where it's like, oh, I guess I would technically be a positive... it's a positive review.
Okay.
It's just not as good as the other things he's done.
No.
It's, out of 10, it's like a 6 or 6.5.
Was it ever going to be? Do we deserve the thing that he made after Midnight Mass to be better than Midnight Mass?
There's no need... Obviously, you want everything to be great. There's no need for it to be as good as Midnight Mass, because Midnight Mass is peerless for what it is. And it's a year after. It's not like... It's not like a filmmaker that Paul Thomas Anderson, like 5 years, will do another one, 2, 3 years. No, like, he's doing a show a year.
Yeah. And they're all pretty good.
They're all pretty damn good,
Yeah.
and a couple of them are masterpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't need Midnight Club to be 5 stars.
No.
It's fine.
But there are things they could do in the second season to improve.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like excited to watch the next season. I liked it. I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
But we recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend it as well.
Okay. I think that's everything.
Sure. Why not? Okay. That's all we have for you.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye-bye then.
Bye.